I got an issue with this. I got an issue with this. Today we're gonna be talking about the blood potential attunement slash oath, but why it shouldn't be an oath. I want to talk about why blood as a concept and debunking should not be an oath, because I've been seeing some people talking about maybe it's an attunement, maybe it should be an oath. I'm gonna argue for why it should be an attunement. I did a little stream rant, now I'm gonna do a video rant. Number one, right? Let's go back to what Archmage said a few months before Iron Sing came out. He said here, Iron Sing is a little bit too narrow, or it's not really broad enough to be a main thing. It needs to be supplementary at the moment, right? But then if you look, guess what? We got Iron Sing as a drop in terms of an attunement. We even have a new path for Iron Sing. And guess what? The easiest way for it to be an attunement is for it to associate with something. What is this? It associates with armor, right? So some attunements can associate with a bar and it makes it easier to have an identity, like how Shadow kind of has ether, right? Like Gale kind of has suffocation, which it has to do with cooldowns, right? Stuff like that, right? You know what I'm saying? So guess what? With blood, well, look at that. What do you think the easiest thing is for it to identify it with? The blood bar, right? You could have some cool ass blood bar related talents and maybe things that have to relate to that, and you can build an entire attunement off of that. In my opinion, I feel like an oath really wouldn't be able to, I guess, properly explore the unique things that we can get out of blood. It's like, imagine if Iron Sing only had like 2 or 3 managers and like 2-3 talents. You see what I'm saying? It wouldn't really be, it couldn't, there's a lot more potential. Point number 2, Iron Sing I think is still more narrow than blood is. I brought up the fact before that if you take a look at something like ice and metal, you'll realize that it's very kind of similar to each other, right? Like, what I'm trying to say is that some metal moves can be kind of like ice slash crystal moves. You know what I'm saying, right? Like Needle Barrage, it could be ice crystal spikes. You see what I'm saying, right? That like metal pillar that comes out the ground could be an ice pillar, right? Things like Ice Lance, Rocket Lance. Do you see what I'm saying, right? They both kind of create like physical objects to attack your opponent with or to use with, right? Caltrops compared to ice traps. You get my point. When it comes to blood, blood is a damn liquid. A liquid. Something we haven't really kind of seen used yet. We've seen Chaser's attacks where it turns into like the cloud of smoke, right? I was able to create like little, you know what I'm saying, attacks that like kind of like blood streams that attack you whenever you're trying to dodge them or parry them. You see what I'm saying, right? So I'm trying to wonder, how is something like blood not as, you know what I'm saying, like more broad than something like Iron Sing? Even lore wise, you can make the argument that like it could have a bunch of cool different stuff. They can do whatever they want. You see what I'm saying, right? You see what I'm saying? That's my issue with it personally, right? Like Iron Sing, I think is more narrow than blood. Blood is a whole liquid and it has a bar. Let's go to my final point. Point number 3. Blood attunement is better for everybody involved, right? It's better for everyone involved, right? For content creators like me, guess what? More people playing the game, more people watching videos, more money. Simple. For you, the player, there's way more build variety that can be added. There's more content to play around with. Iron Sing as an attunement has way more content than Iron Sing the Oath. Do you know why? Because they can add on to Iron Sing the attunement like they did. They added a path, more mantras, more talents. When it comes to something like an Oath, it's kind of fixed. Maybe you have something like Dawnwalker where they might drop another move after like a year or 6 months, but after its initial release, it's usually done for and maybe has slight balancing, all right? And so for you, the player, you can have more, you can add on to your build, right? You can have blood plus shadow plus maybe like Dawnwalker as a build. You see what I'm saying? Versus maybe just going shadow plus blood as an oath and you can't get anything else. Do you see what I'm saying? It's better for you as the player. You get more to play around with. Who doesn't want that? Finally, it's better for the devs. The motherfuckers get to make more money. Simple. You know what I'm saying? More people need more slots because a new attunement drop. They're gonna play the game more money being spent, more people gonna, maybe never probably, but more people may wipe, more money in circulation for the devs, more people in the game. Attunement is always hype. Now the main counter argument I see against this, and I think is valid, I'll say is valid, is the fact that it might be hard to balance. Attunements may be hard to balance. Whatever it may bring to them may be hard to balance because the blood bar is scary. Whenever they had the Crulian Bloodthirsty, that shit got nerfed. Now Bloodthirsty is pretty much useless. So what happens if you create an entire attunement based off using the blood bar, something that instantly kills you? Could be very dangerous to balance. If you want to make the argument, I think is valid. But anything else, I don't really see as an argument. Lore, not real. If Archmage can consider the fact that it could be an attunement, but it may not be, that's not really a lore issue. Bro could see it as an attunement, but it's just, he thinks it's a little bit too narrow. But I'm just saying, you need to broaden your perspective, you know what I'm saying? Because we have Ironsing as an attunement. I don't see why we can't have Blood as an attunement. That's the end of my rant. That's all I wanted to say. Have a great day. Peace.